I I accidentally almost titled this stream Ty Talks Lice. So maybe we should spend some time here on the live stream discussing the very important topic of lice. Because I almost accidentally titled the stream Ty Talks Lice, and I feel I should probably pay that off in some capacity. Lice is a very concerning thing. It's a bug. Gets I think it gets in your hair. I think there was an Arthur episode about it, right? Wasn't there an Arthur episode where like all of the characters get lice? I think there was an Arthur episode where everybody got lice. You know it's a good stream when less than a minute in I'm talking about Arthur and lice. But I think I vividly remember that, and I think I vividly remember being not only Coke Zero. I think I remember like vividly being like concerned about that episode, where Arthur and friends get lice. I assume it was meant to be some sort of PSA or maybe a cautionary tale. But like lice gets in your hair and they're animals, so they're all fur, they're like all hair pretty much. Ugh, would not be fun getting lice in the Arthur world. I can't believe that's how I started this stream. For those of you who just came, which is everybody, I was just talking at the beginning of the stream. I accidentally almost named the stream Ty Talks Lice, and I was thinking about lice, and I was reminded of there was this episode of Arthur, I think, where everybody got lice. Um, what a strange way to what a strange way to start my live stream. I'm very sorry. So yesterday I put up a poll on my channel asking you guys what your favorite type of live stream I do is, and to no surprise to me, literally me just sitting and talking won. Now, personally, I prefer to do something on a live stream. That's why I always do other things, whether it's painting cars or drawing or epic gaming. Or building Lego sets. That's definitely my favorite type of stream, but I don't want to go out and buy a Lego set every time I want to live stream, right? Um, I don't really like streams where I'm just sort of sitting and talking for a few hours. Um, I think I'm as engaged with the audience in my other types of streams as I am here, and I'd rather be doing something else so that you have something to look at. And I've got another thing that I could be doing or showing. Again, especially the Lego streams, those are my favorites. The epic gaming streams are a little more difficult to pay attention to the chat, and I think the one I did last week worked really, really well, where I had Robin with me on a voice call and we were talking, which allowed him to sort of talk when I couldn't because I was too busy being an epic gamer. And I think for the future of my epic gaming streams, which I refuse to stop calling them that. That is what they are. Um, think for the future of streams like that, I'm gonna always try to have a guest with me so that I have somebody to bounce off of, um, and somebody to read the chat when I can't. Yeah, I like them. I've definitely. Then go to sleep, Robin. Um, yeah, I've definitely spoken on the subject of the Cars video games before many times. Right. Well, put the babies to sleep and then you sleep. Or like just whip out an Uno reverse card. So now they have to babysit you. And then you could just go off and take a nap for as long as you want. Easy as that. Boom. Broke babysitting. Absolutely destroyed the babysitting industry. The babysitting industry will not recover from that. For GameCube, yeah, I got it. I didn't play the Cars video games until 2018 actually. When at that point I was like, okay, I got a Cars channel. I should probably play the games, and then I did. I think I'm going to be streaming pretty frequently on Fridays because Friday is the day where I have no classes, as I've said before. So I'm just here all day, typically home alone because my parents are working. So, um, yes, they were. My favorite, actually, really, really controversial opinion. Hot take. The Cars 2 video game is probably my favorite Cars game. Just because I like, we won't babysit, we'll mutual same age sit. Um, Cars 2, the video game, is actually the only one I don't own, but it's one of the ones I've had the most fun with because I think it has some of the most fun mechanics as like a racing party game, and it also has a lot for you to do because it has a lot of different modes and it has a lot of unlockable characters, and you have to do all these challenges to get said characters. It also had DLC, so while it doesn't really have a story, when it comes to just being a straight racing game, like I don't consider the original Cars video games racing games. Those had races as part of them, but they also had the mini games. There was a lot more to them. When it comes to just sort of just like a fun racing party game, I think Cars 2 is the best one for that. What I've wanted for years is just, and this is something I've thought about doing videos on several times throughout the years. I want to get just like, let's just get like a definitive a definitive. Yeah, definitely. Variety tracks, how the game runs. Yeah, I think it probably has my favorite controls. I wish we could just get like a definitive Cars game. Let's just get a Cars video game with tracks from all three movies and characters from all three movies. There doesn't need to be a story. It could just be a fun, just like Cars, basically just do Mario Kart with Cars. Do tracks from all three movies and some other stuff, include characters. Um, just be better than Driven to Win. That's basically all you need. On the Road doesn't really have much racing in it. I feel like if you do an on the road game, it's basically just going to be a glorified mini game compilation. Um, we don't mention Driven to Win, right? We don't talk about that one. I'm waiting for Disney to make their own Smash Bros. Man, with you got multiverses now. Let's just and the Nickelodeon one too. Let's just have Disney make a Smash Bros. And a few years ago, my friend and I pitched what Mac from Cars, his move set in Smash Bros. Would be, and that was just like kind of an inside joke between the two of us. But like licensed games are coming back, in higher quality now. And Disney's doing a crossover racing game with Speedstorm. I don't care for it. Maybe I'll play it on stream once, test it out, see how it is. Probably will be terrible. Mulan in a car. Sure, guys. I'd like to see a large scale Cars racing game. Um, but like licensed games are coming back. Of course, you have a pretty good, pretty solid string of recent Marvel games. Aside from, yeah, we're getting a Disney racing game, but as far as we know so far, it doesn't have Cars content. Um, which is strange. We're sort of in a renaissance for licensed games. Of course, there are those new Nickelodeon games, and on the Disney side, you have a pretty solid string of recent Marvel games, aside from Square's Avengers. They're making some Avatar game. I watched a trailer for that without knowing it was a new game, and I just thought it was like an Avatar Fortnite collab. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're putting Avatar in Fortnite. They weren't. It's its own game. I don't know who's gonna play it, but it literally, I looked off to the chat because I wanted to see. I just like tuned in halfway through Disney's like game announcement stream, last week. That stream sucked. It was so disappointing. At least we're getting a new DLC for Lego Star Wars, which is nice. But I started watching halfway through, and they're in the middle of this Avatar trailer. I'm like, oh, Avatar's doing a Fortnite collab. It's not. It's its own game. And I look off to the chat, and the first comment I see is someone who just typed, "Where we dropping, boys?" I was like, yeah, that's exactly what this is. That's what I was completely convinced that that's what I was watching the trailer for. No, it's just a separate. It's like an Avatar MMO shooter game. It's like, does anybody care? Does anybody care? Really? I'm gonna check that right now. I did not know Marcus Cranksler was expensive. When you think of expensive cars, 3 racers, I don't really think of veterans much. Yeah, I played the Avengers game for a bit. I got into it for maybe about a week, and I was like, man, it's bad. Like, I was one of the, I was one of the people who was just completely turned off by the game from the designs alone. The character designs were terrible. Um, and also the lack of Hawkeye when it came out. I was just like, okay, so you're basically trying to do dollar store MCU, and you don't even have Hawkeye. I think the DLC for Avengers, the free DLC, the updates they've added have been good. The Black Panther update was very good. What I played from the Hawkeye update was fine. Maestro was a strange choice of villain for Hawkeye DLC. I haven't played the Guardians of the Galaxy game. I feel like that one went completely under the radar and like nobody talked about it when it came out. It just got like dropped randomly on a random day. And then then it just came out like 6 months later. I haven't played it. I've heard pretty good things, but I don't know. Marcus Cranksler isn't that bad. He's a lot more expensive than I thought. He's on eBay here. He's going for $20 to $30, which is definitely a bit more than I expected from him. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It could definitely be a lot worse. But Marcus only had that one release, right? Maybe he was in a multi-pack too. Not too sure on that. Let's check. Is Chip Gearings really that expensive? I know you said that you found Chip Gearings for like 60, but oh no, wait a minute. Marcus Oh no, never mind. No, Marcus Cranksler. Marcus Cranksler had one release only. Chip wasn't Chip out in a multi-pack? I have 2 chips. Let's see. Well, I look up Chip Gearings and I can't even find a list. Oh. Here he is for $9. That's it. Oh, Robin, my friend, that's just a total scam. Wow! The XRS chip is really cheap. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm missing a few mud racers, so maybe I should get that. But yeah, chip is like less than $10. less than $10. Because Robin was messaging me the other day how he had like a €10 gift card. I probably should get Mud Racer Chip. He had like a 10 euro gift card for a website. He's like, let's see what car stuff is on there. And for the next 10 minutes, he's just messaging me like they have Marcus Cranksler, but he's $60. Like they have all these ridiculously high priced things. It's like you're just being scammed. That website is just ripping you off. It's like that's entirely too much for Chip Gear. I want to do a sequel to my shockingly expensive cars list. And yeah, I have Marcus also. I got him back when he came out. Marcus was not in a multi-pack, though, for the record. I want to do a sequel to the shockingly expensive cars list. And like, I'm not going to include that because it's just one listing. Because for that video, I just averaged out... Sorry, I'm opening the window over here. For that video, I just averaged out the prices that cars just went for in general. I combined all their eBay listings. I averaged them, took an average, added them up, divided them by how many there were, of course. And that did mess up Primer McQueen. Like I said in that video, Primer McQueen's international listings are fairly cheap compared to his US listings because he was available internationally for a longer amount of time. What's your name your price for Marcus Cranksler? Because the cheapest I could find him is around $20. Maybe you could find him loose. I could check, like, maybe Amazon. Sometimes Amazon has cars for... Amazon typically has cars for pretty, like, general prices, which are typically pretty expensive, but maybe they're cheaper. Check Amazon for you. Oh, yikes. No, he's more expensive on Amazon. This is why I don't buy cars from Amazon, guys. Marcus Cranksler is around the same price. Well, the veterans, yeah, I'll see. I don't, unfortunately, the cheapest one I could find is like 15. But if I find something lower, I'll DM you, yeah. I don't know how much searching I'll do for it, but if I see something, I'll definitely let you know. I'll look a little bit at another point. Welcome, Cars Ignite. Yeah, TG's the only veteran I'm missing. Although I have his mud racer. Sorry for my lackluster stream setup. I just took what I had last week and added Mater. Whoa, wait. That was a very loud truck. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, that's not good. Again, a 60 for Chip is just so ridiculous, man. I saw TG. Many a time did I see TG Castlenut, and I chose not to buy him. I still remember the day where I was in Walmart, and I made the conscious decision to not buy Lane Lock. At least you're alive. Yeah, you know what? Fair point. I don't know what you mean by that. Yes, Cars Ignite. You're missing Bobby Rotesta and the Rev and Go Racer. That is correct. I forgot about those, but yeah. Yeah, Mrs. the King hasn't been out in several years. That's a good pick. She used to be out like every year. That's how I got her. Way back when she first came out. Still remember that when I got that. I remember one of the first things I thought after I bought that pack was just how easy it is to open the cars. I don't know why, but I have like this vivid... Yes, she is in the 2-pack with the King. I have like this vivid memory from like my early childhood of when I opened up the King and Mrs. the King 2-pack. And I just remember thinking to myself, wow, they make these cars really easy to open. And I don't know why that was my thought, but it was like, you know, when you're a little kid, it's like a whole process. And then that day I realized I could just rip this plastic thing off and now they're free. It got smashed by a hammer. Yes. Very cool. Yeah, I actually was filming some of the next Cars Adventures episode before I started doing this stream. So probably tomorrow night. This is a very big episode. It's going to take a little while to film. but I have the first few minutes of it done. It's probably gonna hold the record for longest episode, except for like the Battle of Radiator Springs episode. It's the second to last episode of this season, and there's a lot to get done in it. Um, it may end up being quite a long episode. I think the season finale will be a bit shorter than this, since this is basically everything leading up to the finale. And with a tire-shaped launcher. I wish I'd gotten those. I don't think I knew about them when I was little, but I'd like to get one of those. But I never buy Piston Cup racers online because Mattel is inevitably going to re-release them. I'd buy the Dale. I think Dale had a launcher. Did he? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. My first McQueen, I don't know what my first McQueen was. I like to think it's just normal McQueen. I have some very vivid early memories of my Mater's tow hook being broken. And I remember reenacting the tractor tipping scene and using brand new Mater. I was so upset that my regular Mater's tow hook was broken that I decided I'm just going to use and play with brand new Mater. You know, I never got a normal Mac. I did get a normal Mac, but I repainted it. At this point, I could buy a Mac whenever I want. Salt Flats 9-pack. That's not a 9-pack. I don't think that's a 9-pack. That was just an image that leaked of 9 individual releases. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not a multi-pack. There was just an image that leaked of 9 upcoming Salt Flats releases. Um, Not a 9-pack. And if that's what it ends up being, then I'm sorry. But that was just an image of 9 separate images of different upcoming Salt Flats releases thrown together. Yeah. It's on the Discord server, Robin. Um it has Mater and Lightning and Revocost and Royce Reveler or whatever. It's just an image of all of the Salt Flats racers that are currently out that are just compiled together in one image. It's not a 9-pack. It's just all the ones that are currently available in one image. Yeah. Shout out Long Car. I have a whole video coming out where I talk about how great the Long Car is. The Long Car seems like it's being split up into 3 pieces. If you look very closely, number one, I double checked the episode, and Long Car is shorter than she is in the episode. And number 2, Long Car's diecast has 2 little seam lines, which makes me think you're gonna have to like plug it together, like Sergeant High Gear style. And they could break her up in 3 pieces and sell her as a single. I go more in depth on that in a video that's coming out soon. My best Cars find is when I found 6 of Bud, the Super Chase, in 2017. I found 6 of him at one store. I only bought 1. I should have bought all of them. But I saw 6 or 7 of him. Just a whole side end cap. I was on vacation to Pennsylvania. And I went to a Walmart. And they had 7 of the guy. Watch Long Car getting revealed and packaged before you release that video. They may, and if they do, I could just delete that from the video. I felt like I needed to talk about Long Car. Yeah, see, I'm not the type of guy. If anything, I would have bought a second one. My regret, probably one of my only regrets in that field, is that I did see a second Sergeant High Gear, and I do kind of wish I'd bought it because there are 2 Royal Guards in the movie. I do kind of wish I had gone and bought that second Sergeant High Gear so that I could have 2, but it's fine. Love Sergeant High Gear, one of my favorite Super Chases. But I do kind of wish I had bought a second just for that purpose, just because there are two in the movie. But I'm not the type who would do that. Yeah. What? Sergeant Highgear was in Cars Adventures? I don't remember that. I've done quite a bit with the Sergeant Highgear diecast, usually centering around the fact that his hat can come off. No, no interest. Um, no interest in the Royce and Dats 2-pack. I'm just buying their singles. It's as simple as that. I have zero interest in these accessory 2-packs. I like that they're trying new ideas, but like there are no new releases. There are no new releases in these 2-packs, so I really don't care. Unless Dats Gem, and of course, isn't released elsewhere. We haven't seen his single yet, but I'm sure we'll see it soon. Get back for rolling. Oh, right. Well, weirdest stories that you made up when playing with Cars characters. Have you seen Cars Adventures by any chance? That may take the cake, but that's not me playing. That's me creating a storyline. I'm sure I did lots of weird stories with my cars as a kid. Um, I remember doing one where Doc was actually secretly still alive, and he was like lodged between two pillows in my couch, which of course represented a cave. I have a lot more memories of weird stories I did with like my Legos than I do with cars. I used to do this whole series with my Legos, which is like a Star Wars series, but starring me, little Lego versions of me and my sister. She didn't play it with me, but she was there as one of the other characters. And we were Jedi. But it was sort of like a weird alternate Star Wars universe thing going on. Because, like, all points in the Star Wars timeline existed at once. And also all these other Lego things, so they would team up with the guys from Ninjago. And Batman was a bad guy for some reason. And lots and lots of stuff happened. It was... Yes, I'm sorry, I made a crime. I have not seen the finale of High School Musical, the musical, the series yet. I typically watch it with my sister. She's currently at college. She's away, so I haven't been watching it recently. This season has not been very good in my opinion. I texted her about it the other day. She hasn't seen the finale yet. But I'll watch it with her when she comes home. Biggest regret with collecting cars. I guess you could say that's Sergeant Highgear, but also on that same vacation where I found Bud, I went to a Kmart and they had a ton of cars, absolute ton of cars I'd never seen before and never saw again. They had 2014 Plains singles, okay? 2014 Plains singles, and this was 2017, and they had the old Sally color changer who was pretty rare, and I should have bought all of them. I should have said screw it and just purchased every single one of them. Every single one of them. Another regret of mine is just missing out on Plains, which is sort of biting me in the butt nowadays. Which, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Plains, but I would like to have some more of the diecasts, and it's a little too late for that now. He's a new mold. He is a new mold. New mold, new plain mold. Yeah, you do have a ton of Plains duplicates. But I have sort of a paranoid mentality when it comes to collecting. I buy everything the first time I see it. Just in case, because I know there's a chance I'll never see it again. Yeah, better safe than sorry. Exactly. Peter got killed by a bee. Poor guy. He never catches a break. I hope his dog didn't step on a bee. They may have, but the diecast is a unique model from L2. But yes, it is an incredibly similar model of biplane, yes. I didn't get a good enough look at him in the show to really piece that together. Mater did mention Chupacabras by name in the Cryptid Hunter episode. And there we go, guys. That's the infamous low battery warning. I'll plug my phone in a few minutes. Yeah, that's 20%. When we get down to 10%, that's when we plug it in. Not typically, but this time we're changing it up a bit. Yeah, I was just gonna say, doesn't a biplane mean that it has two sets of wings? Yeah, reused models, remember, are very clever in that regard. Yeah, fair point. Years where you don't collect that's a very good one, Curling Knight. That's a good one. But something I've loved about doing YouTube is that it's, I've gone back and I've been sort of filling in gaps for years where I wasn't collecting as much. So I don't mind. As much as I'd like to say, oh, I wish I was collecting every single car, every single day, every single year, I don't, because then I'd be left completely different than, than how I am now. Let me get my charger. I forgot to put it over here. And that's the thing, we all have things we regret, even if it's something as little as I wish I'd bought that toy car at Toys R Us 7 years ago. But if we did, then maybe we'd end up as completely different people. Butterfly effect. That's how I sort of think about it. "2020 was a good year. I would regret it too if I didn't collect cars in 2020. 2020 was not a good year. 2020 was a good year for cars." Sorry, I just plugged my phone in. Dennis? Oh, I misread that as he was killed by Dennis. Accidentally killed Dennis. That makes sense. That makes sense. This actually was around the same numbers as last week's stream. Last week, we really dropped in viewership towards the end. We ended the stream with like one person watching. So clearly I did something wrong. No, I'm kidding, but... Double digits we did. We averaged about 9 to 10 viewers last week's stream, at least early on. I think it went on a little too long. You want to see the weirdest car story I made up? I did a whole video on it. And I feel like this is a shameless plug, but if you haven't seen it, watch my, I did a video a few months back on, the craziest car story I wrote as a kid. And that's probably my weirdest car story, at least that I remember. I have a bunch of old Cars artwork. I really want to do a video where I look at it, because it's really funny. It's really funny. My early Cars art. I don't do Cars art often. I just don't really enjoy doing Cars art. For all the art I do. That's a reason why you never really see my art in videos. It's because I never do Cars art. I just don't have much interest in drawing cars compared to the stuff that I typically draw. No, we're not doing trucks again. You know, I never... I never show my art on my channel. I just don't think it's relevant. Aside from my art streams that I've done before, which are just me drawing things because I think it's funny. So I have my whole comic series, which I've written for years and years and years now, and I just draw a lot just in my free time, typically related to that, but I never show it. I will not yet Cars Ignite. I'll plug it when it comes out probably. I'll put it on my community page. I'm doing helping Cars Ignite out with a project that he's working on. I have an art channel on my Discord server, but I never post on it. A lot of other people do, and they post stuff that's cars related or not cars related, and I never do because I never feel like it's relevant. I never feel like what I'm drawing is... I never feel like what I'm drawing is relevant to what I do. No, Tea Food Reviews Thai is not my channel. It's not my channel. One of my viewers, Drift King, he made it as a joke. It's not my channel. It was a joke I made, and then he helped me play along with the joke by creating a channel for it. No, it is a real channel on YouTube, but it's not actually me now. I've, At one point around 2018, I did a pretty big set of pieces of Cars artwork, and I think a lot of it still really holds up. Still Steve, obviously. Um, I think it still holds up, but I, I think it still holds up, but I just don't really enjoy drawing cars. Randy. Robin, you're right. I checked. Randy is red. He's sort of a maroon color. You know, I keep forgetting that On the Road came out. I have not ever drawn Steve Ursel now. What have I drawn recently? I was doing this morning. I was drawing Captain America from Infinity War when he has the beard, and I just could not get it right. His hair in that movie is really weird, and it's really difficult to pull off, like in my art style and in how I draw people. It just was not translating well. I haven't drawn many because I just like to sort of talk about what licensed characters I've drawn. So you guys don't need to. I haven't explained like my comic series and my own characters I've created for that. So typically when I talk about my art on my channel or somewhere else, it's regarding what like licensed things I've recently drawn, and that's yeah. The comic series, the story is so long. I There's a lot. There is a lot of content. So what happens when you've been doing a series for 8 years. I will say it's more streamlined than Cars Adventures, probably. I don't even know where I would start if I were to recap my comics. I don't even know where I would start, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. I've done over 1,000 episodes of Cars Adventures. So maybe one day I'll do some sort of special video recapping my comics, but it's just not relevant to what I do here. It would be very, very difficult to explain. Live-9 Season 15 is the second season to have less than 24 episodes. Season 9 had only 23. Now, why would I be that Sith Lord? What? No, no. I would probably put it on my main channel, because my second channel is just for, like, memes now. You know, once I decide to upload on it once every 8 months. This has turned into ASMR. I'm sorry, I'm just messing around with my blinds. Mater, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Too many tubes. He's suspended in the air. It just would not work. Any other time Doc has appeared, i.e. Cars 3, it was just archive audio. What? 1 hour of time playing with the blinds. Whoa! That's what we're gonna do, guys. The rest of the stream is gonna be me doing nothing except messing with my blinds. At this point, you're right, Robin. At this point, I've heard of it because you've mentioned it, but it's not something I'm aware of. I'm not like a model train guy, but 1,113 episodes, including all of Lap 1? A1113? A1113? Of course, the Cars Adventures playlist has more episodes in it since I put trailers in there and I put other supplementary content from Cars Adventures in there. If you go to just my Cars Adventures playlist, if you go into my Cars Adventures playlist, eventually you see some videos or trailers or fun fact videos or maybe even a behind the scenes video or two in there. So yeah, just go into my Cars Adventures playlist. Or quiz video, yeah. Going into my Cars Adventures playlist. It isn't an accurate count for total amount of episodes. It's just a total, that's just a count for total amount of videos I've done about Cars Adventures. Although I don't put my reviews of Cars Adventures Customs in there. I don't do that. I gotta say, I'm very surprised my review of the On the Road McQueen single did well. I thought it was gonna bomb. I was really concerned because I reviewed McQueen in this 4-pack review. But it's been doing very well. Unlike my Brad Windmiler review, that poor guy. On days where I know that I'm gonna put out a review that isn't the most interesting to a lot of people, I typically try to do a double upload, but I just was not able to the other day when I reviewed Brad Windmiller. I just wasn't able to. I was pretty busy that day. But typically on a day where I know that my review isn't gonna be the most interesting or popular, try to release something else on that day. My other video for today is probably just going to be the tractor review. Tractor with tire in mouth. In addition to the stream, Cars Adventures will be back tomorrow, just because it's a very big episode. Most of my reviews this year have been doing incredibly well, but how many customs? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Customs I currently have, I don't really know. That's a good question, because they're not on the final 50 list. Saw out there somewhere, there was some remote controlled train some company made with an image of McQueen on the side, which was officially licensed. But I'd love to see like a model, like an HO scale Trev. Disney would never do that. But I'd love to see like a scale model Trev. But they wouldn't though. They'd never make them. Yeah, I don't have an interest in reviewing all of my customs. And right now, for maybe like on a lazy day when I had nothing else to do, I would review a custom. But now I have the final 50. Well, I plan on doing a Cars Adventures mega review at some point soon, featuring every custom from Lap 1 and Lap 2 that is still survived. I'm not sure if I still plan on doing that. Some customs that were originally supposed to show up in Lap 2 Season 15 will just not be in the season and will be used in the future. I wasn't able to finish all the red line agents I made, or use all of them in this season, which was the original plan, but I in the end wasn't able to, unfortunately, just because most of them still aren't finished, which is on me, but they're not really relevant to the story that I'm telling currently. It's not relevant to show all these miscellaneous background redline guys. There aren't many shots where they're required, so I have not really used them. Redline Stalkers might appear. I'm not saying all of these characters will appear. They just were supposed to be in the season and weren't. And even if they don't appear in Cars Adventures, I still made them. They still are part of the Redline Army. It's just they'll be part of the Redline Army display instead of in the actual series. If that makes sense. They do exist. They just didn't appear. Makes a little more sense than Hot Rod Steve Urkel, right? Uh, Canonically, probably. They were probably taken in because they were racing on under a chick. Probably. I can't say that's officially canon. The real reason why Lightning was on so much tuners merch. The reason why Lightning is on so much tuners merch is just because it sold. Just because the tuners look cool and McQueen is popular. Slap them together, put it on a backpack, sell it. Any of the Precision Series playsets, especially the Cozy Cone. The Drift Mode 5-pack. It's called marketing. It is called marketing. It's just marketing. You don't need to think too deep. You don't need to think too deep into it. It's just marketing. But, yeah. I joke, I joke, I'm sarcastic a lot. You know, in series like Weird Products, you need to keep in mind that I'm never really being serious in Weird Products. All of my feelings of this is so weird are exaggerated. Because that's the point of the series. I'm talking about Weird Products. Not counting Precision Series. I don't know. The old Dirt Track set was dope, okay? If you had the old Dirt Track set from like 2006, sick, gnarly, literally a pain to put together. I could never put it together. I don't even know if I still have it. That thing was literally an absolute beast. Insane insanity, sheer insanity, insane, big, huge, large item. For me, probably the most useful playset for me is the Florida 500 Racing Garage, which I got because I just wanted a location for Cars Adventures, and I use it in nearly every episode, right? It appears on the recaps. It appears literally all the time. It's a permanent fixture in my room. For me, I just prefer playsets of locations because I could use them. The garage is just very good all-purpose. Any building that's sort of formatted like that is good in my book. Very useful. I use it for nearly every Piston Cup 500 or the Florida 500. The Florida 500 set was good. I don't have it. I just wished it was 2 slots instead of basically 1 slot aside from one area. I don't like the amount of Cars playsets that are only 1 slot for racing. There really isn't that much Cars Lost media. I'd say if you want to count physical media, yes, to protect and serve Robin, there you go. But we already know how it goes down. This is very niche, and it may just be me, but I would like to see any potential prototypes if you're considering physical items as lost media. If you're, then I'd like to see any diecast that was canceled that we don't have images of. If they ever created prototypes for things like Race Damage Hudson or Brickyardly Sponsor or all of these other ones that we know were canceled, but we never had images. Did they produce models? Maybe not. Maybe they did concept sketches. I would love to see it. And again, you don't necessarily count that as media because it's not really media. Is On the Road going to be canon to Cars Adventures? Yes, it will be. It didn't do anything that disrupts the canon of the Cars Adventures. You'll see. I can say that now, Cars Ignite. I had to dance around that for months. People asked me that for months, and I just had to play like Lightning McQueen was actually going to stay dead. He wasn't even dead anyway. Early rumors for the Cars 3 diecast line labeled Brick sponsor as a release, and I'm very surprised we haven't gotten him. I think he could just be a repaint of like Dan Sklarkenberg, right? Like, that's a disappointing one to me. And that's one I'm surprised we haven't gotten yet. I feel like that's one of those cars that they could just randomly throw into any case. And people would be like, oh, cool. You know, Brick sponsor. Nice. Yeah, exactly. He's basically just a background character. Exactly. But that would be my pick. Again, you don't necessarily consider that media because it's not media. It's physical items. That's not media. It's toys. That's not media. Those are toys. That would probably be my personal pick. If you could show me anything from the Cars series that we don't have access to. Also, any work for the space spinoff. Anything from that. Or Planes 3. Another very good one. I'd love to see a script from Cars 2 from before Paul Newman's death. Or any script that includes things like Fabrizio in the World Grand Prix, or the King and Chick Hicks as they appear in World Grand Prix concept art. I'd like to get a script for the celebrity party scene from Cars 3. I want to see what they do with the Batmobile. I don't really own any of the on-the-road plays. That's just, yeah, we'll just have to see. I do like the Salt Flats one. I'll probably pick that up. Maybe, but the thing is, we have quite a bit of content from to Protect and Serve. We have a whole storybook. We know how it was supposed to go down. It's not a thing where there's like lost animation reels. As far as we know, I'm pretty sure the short is completed. It just didn't come out. It's not like the Shrek animation test, which obviously is not what we got. Luckily. That is not true, Cars Ignite. That is incorrect. Some of the most prominent characters that speak and haven't been made, yes, but that isn't true. There are several characters throughout the Cars series that speak and haven't been made. You bring up a very good point. Yeah, Ramon Green, totally, yeah. Stop trying to make Ramon Green happen. It's not gonna happen. A lot of reporters have not been made, especially in Cars 3, but across the whole series. There are definitely a few more from throughout that have not been made. Yes, that's another one. The pity who catches a pizza plant truck rocket. Yeah, that's one that I didn't think of. Good point. Yeah, again, just the reporters alone is kind of what I think of when I think of Cars that speak and haven't been made. I'm sure there's maybe some other lemons that speak and weren't made. But those are easily three of the most prominent characters that you listed. Yeah, well, I mean, Alexander Hugo, we have technically, and he is a character that speaks. We have an Alexander Hugo, we just don't have the normal one. Yeah, no, the Planes movies are fine. I just think they're funny. That I just think it's funny to joke about the fact that they exist. I don't have a problem with Planes. I don't care much for the series, but I don't have an issue with it at all. And I know it may come off that way, but whenever I'm trashing on Planes, I'm just kidding. I don't. It's not. It doesn't mean. The Plane series doesn't mean much to me. I think it's a shallow, cheap cash grab, and it's very easy to tell that it is. But they're not bad movies, they're perfectly passable. They're perfectly fine movies. Best joke of Cars 1, he did what in his cup? Enough said. I think Toy Story 4 was good, but it just didn't handle the side cast of the other Toy Story movies well. There's still one version of each of the main three from Cars 3 that still need to be released. That's subjective. That's definitely subjective. They can make as many variants as they want. But if you're saying Thomasville Cruise, Champion Jackson, and McQueen with headset, there are several McQueens from Cars 3 that haven't been made. McQueen with headset, Fabulous McQueen with headset, Damaged McQueen, Midnight Run McQueen. Literally, where is he? That would be awesome. Um, McQueen without wheels, just literally no wheels. Yeah, no, Planes definitely feels more cash grabby. I also liked Incredibles 2. I think it, I think it was good. I don't know. Jack beats up a raccoon. That's pretty cool. Peak cinema. Baby fights raccoon. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 spoilers. Yeah, Midnight Run McQueen isn't really a separate paint job. As for like McQueen's separate paint jobs from Cars 3, we have all of them. We got all of them pretty early on. We're just missing different variants of them. 2018 was a good year for movies, man. Man. A full episode of Chops. Aw. For animation, 2018 was not a good year, but just for cinema in general, there were a lot of good things out in 2018. Some of my favorite movies come from 2018. And I'm talking like beyond Infinity War, which is great. And Black Panther came out that year. Great. But a lot of movies is Disney Store did make him. I got him right over on my floor over there, which you can't see. That was the point, Robin. There's doing lowbrow humor well, and then there's making Sausage Party. Well, Chops was a TV show, so it's not really relevant. Well, the three cars that you mentioned were all chases, so that's why they haven't been re-released. But they do deserve fixed die variants, just like Guido with rollers, which was a lenticular chase and then got a regular release in 2016 on a 5-pack. Any car that was only released as lenticular deserves a normal release, especially things like Paint Mask McQueen or like Metallic the King. I don't really care about China and Thailand variants, so I don't really have a preference. I actually didn't like Seoul. I did not. I did not like Seoul. At that point, then you're basically just asking what car do you want to see re-released that hasn't been re-released since Thailand took over. You know, that's well, yeah, that was your question. I don't really. See, I thought Turning Red was good if you understand what they were going for. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on Onward. I like Turning Red a lot more than I thought I would. Um, but I'm the type of person who is fine with watching a movie regardless of what like the demographic is. I think I really like Luca. I thought Luca was just cute. I thought it was fun. Diecast of LeBron James. That's the most terrifying thing I've thought of all week. There's no point. You mentioned the concept of NBA cars crossover. There's literally no point. They're cars. Those aren't cars. Yeah, lenticular McQueen went count. Dude, they went so overboard with all the lenticulars. They really just not so many were not necessary, man. An Inside Out sequel, there's a lot you could do. I think there's a lot of fun to be had there. But Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling did not agree to return, so that may not be good. What's been Inside Out 2 is about someone pressing the puberty button. Yeah, right. Well, there's a lot of obviously the whole point is that the girl Riley's going to be older now. That's we already know that's the plot. So there's a lot of new emotions for her to handle. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of dirty jokes in there. Thailand does need to make Johnny Blamer. I would like to get of all the Piston Cup racers I'm missing. I would really like to get a Johnny Blamer. There is a movie about aliens joining the NBA. It's called Space Jam. I'm kidding. But am I kidding though? Sage was out a few years ago. Misty has not been. I don't think. Because I don't have Misty. Yeah, probably. Be the inside of the card. Yeah. Well, Pixar doesn't license out other properties like other animation companies do. If someone's gonna make a Rayman movie, like Illumination's gonna pick it up or something, and then cast Chris Pratt as Rayman. Hopefully, he'll be back out eventually. Well, people are saying their biggest regrets related to Cars, Robin, not biggest regrets in general. In which case, I'm sure the answers would be quite different. Yeah. Glad to see it. Except for the Boba one, that's really not a necessary DLC. And the Summer Vacation one is really lame. But I'm glad we're getting an Obi-Wan DLC and a Clone Wars and Rebels DLC. It's great. It makes the game feel a lot more definitive. And I think that's really nice. Also, the new Rex design looks very good. I just hope he gets into a physical set. Best Pixar antagonist. That's a very good question. Very good question. I don't even know what I'd answer that. There are many good ones. Syndrome, very good. Coco is my favorite Pixar movie, so I think that's Disney's best handling of a twist villain, because oftentimes they don't work very well. I think Lotso is a very good villain. I kind of miss when Disney had movies with actual villains in them. Nowadays, most of what they do has character conflict or whatever, and that's good. That's good, and I like it. And it really allows you to flesh out your characters more. But still, I do not. I have not bought anything Toy Story related since 2010. I think the only good movie Blue Sky ever did was the Peanuts movie. Is Axel not a bad antagonist? No, this is not on screen much. Is he bad as an antagonist? No. He's a twist villain where it's revealed at the very, very end, so I don't think he's a bad antagonist because of that. It's what they were going for. And Blue Sky was the one, I believe they made Ice Age, yes. No, Toy Story 3 is my favorite one. Would I say it's the best one? I don't know, but I think it's my favorite. Never really liked Toy Story 2 much, personally. And as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah! No, Toy Story 2 is very good. I just prefer 1 and 3. Toy Story 4 made Gonzo's quote and Muppets Most Wanted's were doing a sequel outdated, and it was very upsetting. I said earlier on in the stream, I thought Toy Story 4 was good, but it gives a good send off for Woody, but it doesn't do a good job with any of the other characters. That's the problem. Aside from the new characters. Yes, it's supposed to be a send off to Woody. What the movie fails to understand is the significance of the side cast of Toy Story 4, which is something that they did understand in Toy Story 3, even though they cut down the side cast to just about 10 or so characters. To see many of those not even speak in 4 is very upsetting. It's good because it concludes Woody's character arc, but it doesn't. It doesn't take into account the large ensemble cast of the Toy Story series. And of course, you could always fall back on the classic. You can always fall back on the classic argument of it wasn't necessary. Yeah, of course I'd be if they brought cartoons back. Totally. Well, that's still not correct because that's still not the name of that car. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not like they legally can't, you know? They've just chosen not to. I never watched any of the Ice Ages, and I'm very okay with that. They tried to. In 2009, there was supposed to be a car called High and Low Ramon, and it got canceled. That presumably was Hydraulic Ramon in some capacity. And it got canceled. It probably took a while to work out. Wait, why are there dinosaurs in Ice Age? What? But the Ice Age killed the dinosaurs. Never watched the Tom and Jerry movie, and I'm very glad I did not. The hybrid animation looked good. It's a waste of Michael Pena's talent. I said the animation looks good, just the movie isn't. Yeah, damage variants of no stone leak lost. One day we should get at least those two. I like a definitive list. Well, the Ice Age movie that came out on Disney Plus was actually supposed to be a TV show, and for whatever reason, they decided to fold it into a movie. And it. Rusty's 95. Why'd you take control of my ship? The title isn't accurate. Ty nods in agreement, acting as if he's seen and or cares about Ice Age. Oh no, they just made like the fourth Hotel Transylvania. I think the lesson today is stop making sequels to animated movies. Enough said. Didn't I just say that in my review like 2 days ago? That Doc and Cruz and McQueen don't appear in the movie together. I swear I just said that in a video. Not in errors and inconsistencies. But there is no Rio 3. Blue Sky was shut down. Also the birds in real life are extinct, so they're not doing that. Yeah, okay, you didn't. Well, that's very good timing then, because I believe I just said that in a review like 2 days ago. Yeah, no, they're not on screen together ever. And I know we talked about something very similar in the last Errors and Inconsistencies, but yeah, no, they were never on screen together. Yeah, I did talk about it. Okay, good. I'm just making sure I did. I wasn't sure. Because I remember talking about that, and I wasn't sure if I did. But yeah, interesting. I thought it was a good choice. Well, I mean, the last episode we talked about a very similar era, so I don't really care. Yes, Robin, the only rumor I believe is the Nova movie. Where's the Nova movie? Still waiting on a Nova movie. Where is it? They're supposed to announce it at D23, and then they didn't. I just want a Nova movie. Shout out to the two people in chat right now who are like, yeah, Ty, Nova movie, where is it? Yes, the extinct Rio bird was found again. I saw the first Rio. It was fine. I don't remember. They're trying to make the birds go unextinct. Well, if there's even just one still alive, then technically it's not extinct, right? That was discussed in the last episode. That six pack that included Doc, despite the fact that he wasn't on screen. So just bringing up the Cruz and McQueen Doc 2-pack discrepancy is basically just retreading what we just said in the last episode. So I don't think it's necessary to talk about it so soon after that. You get the point. Doc isn't in the cruising scene. I don't need to use the exact same sort of error. I might. I think it's worth talking about, but you get the point. Yeah, Rusty's 95. You didn't go there. Yikes. I guess there's a. I guess we get a new. I guess we get a. I guess we get a King Charles car, huh? You had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there. I should have seen that coming. You did everything in your power to make sure that joke would work. You included like the longest setup. Like, so if they make a Cars on the Road season 2, and then you ran with it, and you had no remorse. No, 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 no. I know you're not being disrespectful. I don't think you are. I'm just saying you drive a very fair point. Well, who knows how much longer errors and inconsistencies will go on for. You phrase that like a long time from now, you'll still be making these. I don't know how much longer errors and inconsistencies will go on for. A few more years, maybe. I don't know. But thank you. I hope they do someday, because she's not a Chase. You do have to work on that planes thing, Robin. It's okay, you have time. It's no longer a numbered entry, Robin, so you have time. It's okay. I just dropped my pen. If Pixar made a boats movie, I would cry. And then it would come out, and I would continue to cry. I would say, that's it. I've had enough. Time to abandon ship. Harlem Hayes like wasn't even in the show. Why was he named? He? I guess it's a guy. I don't know. Harlem isn't really. Harlem doesn't really sound like a. Harlem doesn't really sound like a gender specific name. Was he? I just want a Randy. Yeah, me too, man. Was Harlem Hayes? Was he in the? I'd assume he was in the circus. In the circus. Somewhere. Oh, was he? I didn't know that. Okay, cool. So then he was there. Then I'm sure we'll get him. Yeah, I remember the McQueen the Sign review got like 9,000 views in 2 days for some reason, and I have no clue why. I have literally no idea. But like it shot up and then immediately stopped. It was so weird. Guys, aren't they making a sequel to Puss in Boots? What a waste of time. The first Puss in Boots may very well be one of the worst movies I've seen in my life. If you remember not liking a movie that you saw when you were 7, then it probably wasn't good. Because when you're 7, everything you see. When you're 7, everything you see is like Citizen Kane. That NASCAR Fan 5, that would hurt. That hurt. What is he? Nurse GTO. What a oddly specific car. Around the time it started. Yeah, well, you said season 22, so that makes sense. It was around then. I have never seen any of these. Never seen them. I don't do scene remakes. It's just not my thing. I tried to at one point for a little bit a few years back, but it's just not something that interests me in doing. I don't really have a need to try to meticulously. I have great respect for people who do, but I don't really have a need to try to meticulously recreate scenes. How very good question about Francesco. We don't really have. We don't really have. Who knows? You could probably like snap him in half if you tried hard enough. It's like breaking a ruler, right? Francesco's that skinny. One car snapped in half. Yikes! I wouldn't say F1 cars are the most structurally sound cars on the planet. The design works for what they're built for, but are they the safest? Definitely not. Just from the shape alone. Well, obviously, they're obviously they've mastered the design of them at this point. Go through a metal wall. Wow. I could survive going through a metal wall because I'm the juggernaut, secretly, on weekends only. Worst character in the Cars series. Well, you said Cars World. Anyone in planes. You're asking for the worst character in the entire Cars world. Obviously, the worst character in the entire Cars world is Mater's cousin Tommy Joe. No, wasn't Pulaski voiced by Patrick Warburton? Like, immediately gives him a free pass. Cad Spinner is a national treasure and is one of the greatest characters in the entire history of fiction. My life was changed as soon as I first saw Cad Spinner. My life has not been the same. He is the greatest thing to ever happen to fictional media. Ever. Exactly, Roman. He's not a villain. He's just an annoying guy. And that's just like how it is in real life. You're not going to suddenly come across a supervillain in your daily life, but you're going to come across many annoying guys. There will always be annoying guys. There will always be CAD spinners in the world. And we need to just deal with them. And he's a beautiful, incredible car. Well, happy late birthday. Exactly, Robin. Cad Spinner is such a relatable character because he's just annoying. And if you don't know a Cad Spinner in your life, that means you are the Cad Spinner. On my stream, Robin? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Uh, let's close that window. And close the blinds too. And shut the... Whoa! Hey! The blinds just... No, I am not the bird. That's a real bird. It's the realest bird I've ever heard. The blinds just like... I think they broke. That's not how blinds work. Silly window. Guys, stop breaking your house. I didn't even know they could do that. Can we get that to happen again? I guess that's why windowsills exist, huh? Can I get it to just... I was not aware that that was possible. That's pretty cool. Fix the house. Oh, I still hear them, Robin. But then again, I always hear them. Ooh, I just checked the time. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to wrap this one up pretty soon. I think we'll end at the 2-hour mark, which we are approaching in about 10 minutes. So yeah, we'll go for about 10 more minutes. Yeah, they just retired. They didn't go anywhere. They're no longer relevant. They retired. Yeah, they're not relevant anymore. They're happy probably. They're retired. Maybe they're like writing biographies, who knows. I am yet to find Keith Cone. I found the case after. I found some of the cases after Keith Cone, but I haven't found Keith. I may have found Keith's case, but I have not found Keith himself. I do have Colin, who uses Keith's model, but I think I prefer Keith to Colin. I've been loving these very niche, super obscure background characters this year, though, I'll tell you that. I think they pair very well with the on-the-road diecasts. I think releasing some incredibly... Because there are still... It's not like they're out of ideas. There are still a lot of pretty significant Cars characters out there. But I love getting these miscellaneous, like, obscure background characters where you barely even know where they appeared. From all three movies, also, this year has been incredible for representation for all three movies. And I think they pair very well with the on-the-road diecast. That we're getting new releases from the movies that are just sort of little obscure, unimportant guys to go alongside the big new releases from on the road. I think it's a very good balance. I really want to... Who's in Case H? Then again, it's not very relevant to me because I'm not in Greece, but I don't remember. I'm not good with the case letters. I just remember... In my head, I've said this before, but I remember it just by wave. To me, it's not case whatever letter. It's the one with Bertha Brothers Wagon and Revney. I gotta find the Bertha case. Like, I need to get Revney. Revney Grillante is my favorite release this year. It may very well be my favorite release of, like, the past 3 or 4 years. Yeah, Bertha being in another case is very good. So her case has been pretty hard to find. And the... If you find it at Walmart, apparently Walmart's been stocking with smaller cases that only have 12 cars. The Walmart version of the Bertha case doesn't include Bertha, it just includes Revney. It also doesn't include whatever the blue camera car is, I forgot her name. I did see Thailand Bling Bling McQueen last week. I didn't buy it, but for those of you who don't know, which I didn't know this, the 2022 Bling Bling McQueen is actually looking forward. There were some releases in the past where Bling Bling McQueen was looking forward. There was like one release in the past where he was. And I think I used to have it, but I think I got rid of it as a kid. One day I purged all my duplicate cars, and I think he was one of them. So I'll probably pick up 2022 Bling Bling McQueen, because he has the Dynaco McQueen expression, and not the Bling Bling McQueen expression, which isn't an error. Again, that's what he looked like when he was first released, I believe, or one of his releases looked like that, and the rest have been looking off to the side. But, yeah, Thailand Bling Bling McQueen's looking forward. I haven't heard anyone say that. I don't know if that was common knowledge. It probably was. I just was not aware of that. So when I see it again, I'll pick it up. I just didn't buy it because that Walmart always has really long lines, and it's just never worth it to just buy... It wouldn't be worth it to just buy a Bling Bling McQueen there. Not worthwhile. Not worth it for me. And with that, guys, I think I knew that. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end for this live stream. We've gone on for like a little less than 2 hours. So, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Tractor with Tire and Mouth review should be out later today. Cars Adventures should be back tomorrow, probably. See you guys next time. Bye now.